family, and welcome to another episode of Underground Railroad Radio. This is your host, Brother Rich, and I'm here with none other than Alim Bey. What's going on, bro? Everything good?
Yeah, everything is good. Real good. Real good.
You know, I thought about you the other day because I seen everybody keep talking about this movie Lucy, so I'm like, damn, I didn't see it yet. But I want to see it. I'll probably go to see it this weekend. But, you know, the base of it is, you know, being able to use 100% of your brain from what I'm seeing. And, you know, they've had other movies like that, Limitless, and things of that nature. And I was like, damn, I got to do an interview with the brother Alim because me and you had did a Law of Attraction DVD probably about 6 years ago or something like that, you know?
Right.
So I was like, damn, I got to talk to brother Alim dealing with the mind and tapping into this full potential because that's where, you know, that's my shit right there. I'm, you know, that's what I strive to be, you know, tap into that mind potential. But I want to get into this interview, brother Ali. Did you get a chance to see the movie yet? By the way.
Yes, I've seen it.
What you thought about it?
I think it wasn't as exciting as everyone think that it is. The missing element, like I said, was with the so-called secret was that they never speak about the science of breath and nothing on which that they refer to. They only speak about the science of the mind and its reaction on the physical body, but the mediator between the mind and the body is the breath. So it's interesting that they never make mention of that within any movie. And they were so excited that the word metaphysics was used in the movie, you know, as if that's a step up, you know, type of thing. And which it is for those on which that is just probably coming into consciousness, you know, that's exciting, and that might verify, you know, some of the beliefs in which that they, you know, that they have come to the conclusion of, I guess, you know. But for those that's been studying this, you know, for years, it was information on which that wasn't, you know, per se anything special. I mean, everything on which that Morgan Freeman was saying in the movie, niggas heard me say over on tapes for the last 15 years.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Now, why do you say the missing element between thoughts and the secret is breath? Like, what does breath? If I'm trying to manifest something and I'm using my thought power, how is the breath? I just want you to tell the people, how is the breath going to help?
Right. The breath controls the different states of consciousness. And there's 7 states of consciousness. We have interpersonal consciousness, intrapersonal consciousness, life consciousness. We have subconsciousness, superconsciousness, magnetic consciousness, and infinite consciousness. The breath is able to go within each of those conscious levels in order to bring out the thought in which that you have planted or sowed within there. So the breath is the reaper, as we would say.
So, like, these different states of consciousness, like theta, delta.
Right, all of that's the same thing. You have gamma, you have beta, you have alpha, you have delta, theta. Well, theta, you have delta, then you have delta, theta. So all of those correlates to those various states of consciousness that I made mention of. Those are just the wave aspects of it. So, like, for example, gamma waves are real short and together. By the time you get to delta, theta consciousness, they're very long and actually it's the same thing that you would see on a monitor at the hospital where it say beep, beep.
Right. Okay.
Well, the flat line would be basically like the delta theta states. Everything in between with the beat would be the various levels of that conscious level. You know, whether it's gamma, whether it's beta or alpha or theta or delta.
Mm-hmm. Now, how are we able to tap into this? They say science. You know, they've been saying for years that, you know, we only use 10% of our brain. The question,
right.
I mean, like, how are we able to tap into this other 90%?
By simply slowing down your breath. The longer inhalations and then the longer exhalations. See, what people don't understand is that the centrifugal force, which composes your physical body or your physical anatomy, that's the breath itself. The breath is what holds your physical composition together. Without the breath, you decompose. That's what death is. So everybody want to talk about, the foods that you eat, which is fine, the water you drink, which is fine. They want to speak about the historical information which that binds them, to a particular landmass, such as nationality or birthright. That is fine. But in order to even experience any of that shit, you have to know how to breathe. You have to breathe. So your inhalation and exhalation, is the most important factor. So stop breathing for 3 minutes and see what happens. You will come out your body, and your body will begin the decomposing process. So it's your breath, the inhalation and exhalation, which is called centrifugal and centripetal force, in which that keeps your physical composition together. So you have to learn how to master that. If you're talking about longevity, if you're talking about immortality, then it's through the breath in which that has to be mastered. Whether it's breathing through your nostrils, whether it's breathing through your prana tube, or whether it's breathing through your pores of your skin, you have to master the science of breath.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the ego, which is an aspect of the mind. From my research, a lot of people say it's bad. People criticize the ego a lot. Oh, you're too egotistical. The ego. Some people say without the ego we couldn't exist here.
Right.
Is the ego is a good bad thing, or is it whatever you make it out to be?
Well, every component has a positive and a negative. What they refer to as the ego is the spirit, which is the kundalini at the root base chakra. In order not to have a so-called ego, or to expand the ego into a more spiritual consciousness or Christ conscious base, then you will have to raise the kundalini from the egotistical root base chakra along what we call the chakras on up into the crown chakra, in order to gain that Buddha or that Nirvana or Christ consciousness or enlightenment. So it's about raising from the ego, not actually, you can't bypass it because it's the Kundalini is the all-pervading energy of the universe, as well as the concentrated universal energy inside of you. So you can't bypass it, so it's just about the resurrection of it. So hence the story Jesus was based on that, of the resurrection and the ascension to his Father who art in heaven, which is the soul embedded inside of the pineal gland, which is, i.e., what we call the clouds, which is the brain, the white and gray matter, in which that, based on French philosopher Descartes, he states that the soul is embedded inside of the pineal gland, and that is the principal seat of the soul is the pineal gland.
Now, basically, but see, the thing is, what exactly is considered being egotistical? Because they always tell you don't be egotistical, right. But then the same people they say are egotistical is the same people that's the greatest at their shit, at their craft, at what they do. So they'll
right.
say egotistical, you got to be humble. Then you see a boxer like Floyd Mayweather. They call him egotistical. He's the best at what he do. A person like Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods or just whatever it is that person does, these people are what society would deem egotistical. They're telling us don't behave this way, but these people are extremely successful at what they do. So am I going to follow this, or I'm going to follow what society's telling me what to do? Because they seem like they got a formula. So is that egotistical, or we don't understand, or is that confidence?
Let's explain this. Is the fact is that they was able to utilize their brain. What they was able to do was concentrate and visualize and imagine who they wanted to be, what they wanted to see into the future, and the goal in which that they wanted to achieve. And they was able to focus on that for hours and hours and hours and hours out of the day. In other words, that was the forethought. That was the thought that they focused on the most out of any and everything else that was going on in life, was to achieve that goal. So is that the ego? Of course. The ego gives you the ability to have ambition and desire. But that resurrects also not just from the genitalia, but more so from the heart chakra. The heart chakra is what exhibits what is called the desire body. So you was able to bring that energy from the root, that ego, but then transform it into desire. So that lust, all that energy that they at the genitalia or at the sexual center is able to be channeled up to the heart to transform into desire, and then ultimately transformed into the mental power in which they was able to achieve what they wanted in life. So yes, the ego is used in order to achieve what you want, and that's the proper way of using the ego. Now, just to sit around and just use the ego without any goal or without any focus or concentration, and just, speaking on things just because you think that you have some knowledge of it or whatever the case is, then that is the improper way of utilizing the ego. If you're going to utilize the ego, make sure that it accomplishes a goal for you in which that the world can wonder about, just like you said with a Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan or whoever, Mike Tyson or Floyd Mayweather or whoever. Let it lead a legacy here on the planet for you. All right. So yes, that's the proper way of utilizing the ego. Is the ego bad? No, not in the way in which I just stated, in which that helps you leave a historical legacy behind. But if you're just going to use it, just to be better than someone else, egotistically in that sense, then that's not the proper way of using it. If you're going to achieve it, make sure that you're going to do it because it's something that you really want out of everything else in which that you've been focused on.
I want to talk
that's
to you about. I
mm-hmm.
want to, since we're dealing with the power of the mind, it gets a little confusing with a lot of people. There's so many teachers. We live in an information age. I mean, everybody wants to be a teacher. Everybody thinks they know something. Everybody wants to give somebody advice. So you have a million people out here saying, say this mantra and this will happen. Use this crystal or use this herb or use this mirror or this cloth or drink this drink or take this pill or this magnet. It's infinite number of objects that people say, this will heal you, or this will bring you this, or this will bring. I've been reading.
Well, any and everything outside of you is actually secondary. So whether it's food, whether it's a candle, whether it's a cloth or a crystal, whether it's a mantra or whatever it is, even a mantra, when you internalize it, can only take you to the mental plane out of the 7 planes. So you have the physical body, you have the ethereal body, you have the astral body, and then the mental body. Mantras only take you to the mental. The higher mental is the causal body, then you have the spiritual body, and then you have the soul body. So the mantra is only able to get you but thus far, but it is able to create what is called mental suggestions in which that can produce healing. It's called psychic healing, in which that people need. You know what I'm saying? But everything else, which is a candle, what you do with a candle, you leave your aura residue upon the candle and then light the candle and it burns to that impression which that you left on it. A crystal has healing properties based on the fact of what you program it with, and based on the energy frequency and the color in which that is emitted from it. So all these things can work, but essentially they're secondary. The primary thing is the breath. And you absorbing more prana or chi or ki energy. That's the primary.
Well, this is what I didn't finish this question, but this is what I was going to say as far as that. Some things work for some people. Is it that these certain things, it's really a belief system that is allowing you to do these things or to heal yourself, and that certain things strengthen certain people's belief system? So a crystal might work for me, and I might say, damn, Brother Alim, ever since I had this crystal in my pocket, I've been getting paper, or I've been feeling good and energetic. You turn around and get the same crystal, and absolutely nothing happens for you. So is it that my belief system my belief system is giving this crystal permission for change to happen in my life, but your belief system isn't giving that crystal permission for it to happen in your life. So what you have to do is find what gives you permission to make the necessary changes and adjustments in order to enhance your belief system. Do you think that's the case?
Right. Well, everything. Let's explain this. Everybody operates at a different level of consciousness. Everybody don't operate the same. Like I said, 7 different states of consciousness. So, operate magnetic consciousness can never be understood, overstood, understood by people who operate at just intrapersonal consciousness. So, that person who might have that object, their belief system, or their faith, or their knowing may be operating at a higher level of consciousness. So therefore, it is able to take place and make changes within their life because of their conscious level or their awareness. For the person, they're not operating as high as that individual, or as deep as that individual. So therefore,
you're breaking up a little, Alim. Hello?
Yeah, I was saying that may not be operating at that high level of another individual who's operating. For example, I said a person who's operating at interpersonal consciousness can't fathom what a person is operating at infinite consciousness. A person who's operating at intrapersonal consciousness and somebody who's operating at intrapersonal consciousness, even though they both have the same crystal, the person who's operating at intrapersonal consciousness is going to achieve greater results than the person who's operating at interpersonal consciousness.
Right,
so these different levels of consciousness lead you into a deeper understanding and a manifestation of what you are trying to accomplish and to achieve.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, definitely. So, with saying that, do you view this? Some people say that there is no objective reality. It's all subjective. It's all a perception within your consciousness. Mm-hmm. Do you go with that theory?
Melanin is the projector, or they've studied melanin and they found that melanin operates, the melanocytes operate as black holes in which that becomes the template for what we call a holographic template or pattern. Right. So melanin itself is the hologram or the matrix. And within this matrix, in order to break the confines or to expand, because what they also found is that melanin eats light. So melanin eats light. So the more light that you can eat, so hence the more you are a solar vampire and eat light, this melanin eats light, the more you become immortal, the more you become, the more you gain longevity, because the cells are now being properly fed with the proper nutrients of the cosmos. Prana has all of the elements in the universe in it. So as you are absorbing it, scientists have found that 300,000 tons of stardust energy falls to the planet Earth daily. Whereas the melanated being, you're supposed to eat that cosmic energy through your melanin on a daily basis. The exercises in which that helps with that ability is Qigong, Tai Chi, Reiki, pranic healing, Kundalini yoga, Tantra Kriya yoga, all these particular yogas or pranayama, all these particular energy modalities is what helps to allow the melanin once again to absorb this light, in which that creates an upswelling of energy at 19.5 degrees. If you take a tetrahedron and overlay it on the physical body, you will see that at 19.5 degrees, the upswelling of energy, that's the Kundalini. So that means the more energy that you eat through your melanin, the more it creates that upswelling of energy within you, in which that creates that resurrection or that ascension property or principle. You know, the Kundalini rises, or the phoenix rising from the ashes. All of these stories is nothing more than the same thing told over and over again in different format. Jesus ascended to his Father who art in heaven to sit on the right-hand side. You know, all this is talking about the same thing over and over again. You know, a Hayim Abiff had to be resurrected at a 90-degree perpendicular level. same shit told over and over again, and people not getting it.
How important is everybody's imagination?
Very important. As children, that was the primary thing in which that kept our attention and our focus. Was what we could visualize, and if we had cars, or if we had trains or planes or whatever it was in which we had toys as children, we was able to play with them things for hours.
Yeah.
And we would actually create like movies, for each character. Actually, those characters became the stage in our play. The play of our minds.
Right.
So, visualization and imagination is very, very important, because the more that you can burn grooves within the brain cells or neurons in the brain of health, then you are healthy. The more depression and the more negativity that you burn within the grooves or the impressions within the brain cells or neurons, the more you're unhealthy. So, there's a good thing within Qigong in which that we practice called the inner smile. Mantak Chia speaks about this, in which that we actually smile down into our organs on a daily basis. And that helps remove stagnated energy and remove negativity from us. And smile produces endorphins, in which that is positive chemical responses in the brain, in which that give healing energy or transfers healing energy to the cells in our body. So all of this is a chemical response, but the chemicals is based on the emotional experience in which that we're having at that time. Most people just want to remain upset, hateful, angry, and so, they wonder why they developing cancer, or they wondering why they developing high blood pressure, problems with the liver. Anger is stored in the liver.
Now,
stored in the kidneys.
Do you look at, like, I asked you the question about the ego, growing up, you're taught the ego is something bad. It's kind of the same thing with emotions. You're taught not to be emotional. Emotions are bad. You have to control your emotions.
Right.
Black people, we're the most emotional people on the planet. Now,
right, but the emotions that they're talking about is the negative aspects of the emotions, not emotion itself. You can have joy, you can have happiness, you can have compassion, you can have mercy, you can exhibit justice. Those things are the positive side of the emotions in which that you should exhibit on a daily basis. However, we're not balanced. When we're thinking about emotions, we're always thinking about anger, frustration, disappointment, depression, oppression, suppression, every damn pression on the damn planet. So that is what causes. So hence, you wonder why you have high blood pressure. But goddamn, you experiencing every goddamn pressure there is. And you have internalized it. So that's the negative side, is when you begin to internalize those chemical responses, those negative chemical responses, when you should have a balance. It should be a middle path. It should be what Muslims call the Sirat al-Mustaqim. That's what it should be. It should be a balance, the yin and yang. But people are not balanced nowadays, because so much negativity is crystallized around the planet. So hence, the negativity is now crystallized around our auric fields.
Mm-hmm. Now, as far as the emotions, let me give you an example. Now, they say, cellular biologists, these people in the quantum physics, they say that our emotional reaction creates to what we are observing, creates our reality. So it's not about what happens to you, but it's about how you respond to what happens to you. And your emotions your emotions is basically telling your psyche that this is real because you're responding to it. So you're obviously acknowledging its realness. So you will create more of what you give your emotions to.
We have to learn how to be proactive, and that's essentially what they're saying. So I agree with that.
Okay.
In other words,
yeah, go ahead.
instead of focusing on like what happened with Brother Eric, which was an atrocity, and I'm upset about it also, and I've watched the video. I mean, while I was up there for 3 weeks, this happened actually the first week when I got up there in New York. So, I've been bombarded with this, for the last 3 weeks, going on almost a month now, with what they did, and everybody can see what they did. But, we've seen it happen with Rodney King. We've seen it happen with Trayvon Martin. We've seen it happen with Sean Bell. We've seen it happen over and over and over and over and over again. So we know what they up to or what they can do or what they have done. So instead of being reactive, what we can start doing is start beaming, energy, positive energy, what I'm saying, towards our people in order to have them to awaken up.
Right.
And this is the 100 monkey theory. Like, for example, one monkey do something extraordinary. Like, for example, make like what appears to be like a hammer and open up the nut. All of a sudden, all the other monkeys know how to make a goddamn hammer and open up the damn nut. You see? Because this is collective consciousness. So for those who have manifested higher form of consciousness, we can actually tap into the collective consciousness and send out that information to everyone, and it will awaken us or bring us to a higher level of consciousness. And that's exactly what you're doing, Brother Rich. That's exactly what Brother Sarnetta is doing. That's exactly what Brother Shabazz is doing. That's what all of us who are lecturing are doing. We beaming that energy and we waking up our people. We doing the job.
Mm-hmm.
We making the change. It's not overnight. It ain't gonna be no overnight thing, but it will be historical.
Definitely. Now, I want to ask you about this concept of God. I read this book, and I was talking to A. Rashid about it because he's in the Kabbalah. This book called God is a Verb. There was the big debate last year. I don't know. I think it was last year, this year. And it's becoming more and more popular for you to hear people say God is a woman, and God is a black woman, and acknowledging the feminine aspect of God.
Right.
Now, I was reading this book, God is a Verb, and I was also listening to this audio book, Conversations with God, where they're basically saying that God is the great I am. God is is everything in existence. So I'm going to get your opinion about this. What we label good or bad, for example, the Eric Gardner, and this is a kind of a harsh point, so I guess it'll be a strong point for people to understand the question I'm trying to ask. Somebody will say that the cop that choked Eric Garner, that's God. Whatever you could think happened, the lynchings, that was God. Whether it's good or bad, good and bad is just a relative term that we attach to everything that we create down here with the imagination. But everything you see in existence, a pen, a pencil, an ant, a bug, a fly, the computer, God is the all that is. There's nothing down here that's not God. But it's our imagination that are creating what we call bad experiences. But God is completely, it shows unconditional love. So we have free will to do whatever we want. But when we choose to manifest something bad, we attach something bad to it and call it the devil or call it this or call it that. But it's nothing but God. God's not going to stop us from manifesting whatever it is we want to manifest. So what do you think about that concept? Because, we always hear about this God, devil, good, bad, and you hear some people say that that's good and bad.
Well, in order to achieve that concept of what you're talking about, you have to go beyond duality.
Exactly.
Our people are stuck within the realm of duality, and like I said, even with the yin and yang principle, if you notice, when they come together, is a whole. So, actually, to go beyond the duality is actually become holistic, and the only way you can become holistic is to tap into the right hemisphere of the brain. all right, which is one of the aspects of the right hemisphere, one of the principles of the right hemisphere of the brain is holism. So in order to be holistic, you must tap into that area. So we've been taught, like even like you've seen in the movie Lucy, to use just 10% of our brain, which is linear, which is the left hemisphere of the brain. The other 40% of that, and then the other 50% of the right hemisphere of the brain, which is 90%, goes unused. Because we don't want to go into seeing how everything is all connected. And that's the only thing in which that they're really saying. And what you're talking about is how to see the common thread between everything.
Right.
That everything is God, everything is prana, or chi or ki energy. And that is true, whether it's what we call visible or invisible, or what we call material or immaterial. It is God. And the only reason why the word God is used, which is a German word, which comes from the word gut, which is the word that we say good. That's the English transliteration of God is actually the word good. So hence, that's the reason why when you talk about God, we see everything with God as being supposedly good. It's because that's where it comes from in Germany. That's a German word. So. And we see God, God. So that's the connection to it. So yes, we see, our mental perception of God as being good. Christians say it all the time. God is good. They say it all the time.
Right.
So that's the concept. Yes, no doubt about it. However, is it good, like you said, to see Brother Eric Gardner get yoked up with an illegal chokehold? You know what I'm saying? Was that distressful? Was that, atrocity? Was that, justified? The man was selling a Lucy, a goddamn cigarette.
Right.
To get yoked up and get killed on the goddamn street.
Yeah.
Not no damn. To kill him for a cigarette, no, that is not justified. So yes, it comes into the perception of now we're still dealing with an oppressed people in which that is we can clearly see injustices around us at all times. But do we have to take on the victim mentality? No, but we have to explain the victim mentality. We have to explain the victimhood. We have to explain the psychosis in which that is taking place in this racist, white supremacist society. In order and for us not to do so, and just think that we're going to bypass into infinite consciousness, without coming through the various other degrees of conscious levels, then that's not going to work. You can't jump into infinite consciousness, which is holism or holistic principles, and just bypass magnetic, super, subconsciousness or life consciousness, and we jump from interpersonal and intrapersonal consciousness. In other words, it's just like degree work within Freemasonry. You have to go through the degrees. You're not skipping,
Right.
You didn't skip from kindergarten to college. You had to go through goddamn elementary school. You had to go through, junior high, high school. So that's the same thing with the state of consciousness. We have to be able to, and that's how you become holistic, because you're coming through each one, each level.
Right.
So that makes one holistic. So now when a person reaches infinite consciousness, yes, now they can postulate what you just said. But they also is able to postulate upon everything else. Just like when a person goes to college, you don't forget your goddamn ABCs from kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
You take that shit that you learned from kindergarten and you grow from it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Goddamn, I can do it from A to Z. I can do 1, 2, 3, all the way to goddamn how I want to go.
Right.
So I don't leave behind the foundation. I bring the foundation with me in order to expand the base of consciousness.
Mm-hmm. So the foundation gives you is what allows you to even reach that level. Then, huh?
Exactly. You got it.
Yeah.
Building blocks. About the building blocks. How you can't build no building without the wood or the beams, or the siding, or the bricks. A building can't be built.
Now, what do you think about this concept of the power of now, or staying in the present, or everybody's talking about you got to stay in the present. You have to utilize the power of now to live in, to be happy.
Well,
you can't. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's good in one aspect, but the European, as we know, he projects them 50, 100, 200 goddamn years into the future.
Mhm.
So therefore, by his projection, he's there 50, 100, 200 years in the future, controlling the same shit. All right. So for us just to be in the now is the new age shit in which that they told us, so that we won't focus on future events too. But yet we are the most prophetic people. So we deal with futuristic shit or futuristic ideas. We're the people to do that. The best psychics. The those who have the clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairgustance, clairsentience, psychchemistry. The greatest gifts of those are from melanated people. So we have to understand that. So we too can begin to start projecting ourselves into the future and not take on just genocidal mentality in which they have given us, just based on the Illuminati, coming to get us type of shit.
Why do you think, we're dealing with tapping into this creative aspect of our brain, the right side of our brain? Why do you think it appears, I don't know if I'm, maybe I'm wrong, but it appears that we were much more creative even during slavery. Like you read about all the great things we did, and even when we were oppressed under slavery, all the damn inventions came out of that. That half the things we use in this country was made from, even the things they don't get credit for. Like if you watch Hidden Colors 3, you'll find out that they just stole the patent. They stole the idea and came out with the patent for it or whatever. So,
Well, I give you a good example. John Standard was a brother of a so-called black man who created the refrigerator. All right. Murr, he invented Brother Murray. He invented the lawnmower. Lewis Lattimore, or Granville T. Woods, he created the stoplight and the gas mask. Lewis Lattimore created the lighting system in which that Con Edison, as we say, stole and shit. They Con Edison, right? We can see it all over. So yes, from oppression, which I always give this illustration that you take a black piece of coal and you pressurize it, friction, heat, it transforms into a diamond, a brilliant diamond. So that piece of coal was able to endure stress to become a brilliant diamond. Well, that's the same shit that's going on with us. For those who survive, we're going to be able to shine brightly, yo. Seriously. Because we're going to be able to know how to treat others the way that we want to be treated, the greatest, So that's the whole key, is to be able to take what is going on, the perceptions of what is taking place, and able to project positive, energy towards it and transform those negativities into positivities. That's the whole key for what we really need to be doing in this time and period.
How come it seems as though we were much more creative then with less technology? Now we are in the information age where I'm allowed to have this conversation with you, broadcasted to the world on the internet, could research anything at the drop of a dime. Don't got to go to the library no more. Brothers ain't probably ain't been in the library in God knows how long. But it appears to be less creativity. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird,
right.
I don't, when we had less, it was more creative. Now we have more access to things, and there seems to be less creativity happening.
Right. Well, notice the reason why everything was created during slavery, or a lot of these inventions, or right after slavery, was because of us being oppressed, suppressed, and depressed. And like I said, that is the friction in which that caused us to heat up and to cause us to shine. What brought out that brilliant minds? The diamond is the mind itself. You know, that pineal gland being sparked. You know, the heat of the lighting up that pineal gland, in which that give us the visions, because it's the mind's eye that give us the visions and the imagination, in which that takes us into the future. That's what the pineal gland does. So it is based on that within itself. The problem is that there's nothing in which that is sparking us to that level. You know what I'm saying? As far as this technology in which that we have, and everybody is becoming, what's the word, complacent. In other words, they are just happy with the fact that they have a phone that they can utilize, games they can play on the phone. Right. I got an iPhone. This shit is $500. So they happy with that. They're happy with their iPads, and they're happy with their laptops, and being able. All this information is at the fingertips, so everybody is happy. But the thing is, the happiness always dies down. Just like with hip hop. Hip hop, you know what I'm saying, rolled on a high in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? But by 2000, the shit was dying. That happiness was dying. The creativity, the originality of hip hop was dying. And that's the same thing in which is going on and will go on with this technology. Eventually, we're going to reach a what do you call it, apex, and it's going to start wearing down, and the creativity and originality is going to have to pick back up again. It always does. There's always a ebb of the what they call the ebb flow, of the tide. There's always an ocean. The waters come in, the waters recede. So there's always a tick in the talk. There's always, So we just wait until that happens, Doc. That's all.
Right. Well, I definitely appreciate the interview, Brother Alim. One thing you keep stressing that you don't have me really look into, one thing that I've neglected is the science of breathing thing. And do you recommend like Qigong, or like what do you recommend for somebody that
right? Right. As a matter of fact, August the 16th, because I'm gonna be up in New York. August the 16th at Marcus Garvey Park, which is formerly known as Mount Morris Park. I grew up there as a kid in Harlem. We're going to have on the back side of where the baseball field is, we're going to be doing Qigong in the park. All right. So that's my wife and I. We're going to be putting together the Qigong in the park. So we're going to be doing that 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Marcus Garvey Park. So yes, Qigong definitely is one of the things in which that helps you control your breath, or what is called pranayama, or Qigong itself, which means cultivating breath or breath work, or cultivating energy. So we definitely want to work on that. So yes, these are the energy modalities that you want to tap into. No doubt about that, God.
So is yoga similar to that?
Yeah, yoga is Qigong. Qigong is yoga. It's one and the same.
Right.
Yoga is just the name of it within the Sanskrit by the Indo-Kushites. The Chinese, the original Chinese with the Shang-Li dynasty, or the Shang dynasty, then the Shang-Li dynasty, which we know were brothers and sisters, melanated people who formed the so-called Chinese, historical annals. We know that what they call the Xi'an area of China, those pyramids and mounds was built by the Shang people. All right, who actually, the name of Shang actually, we get the god known as Shango. So within the Nigerian, matter of fact, the word Chinese within Nigeria means protected. As a matter of fact, the word Chinese is a Nigerian word. So it's telling you who were the original people within that territory. Have the Olmecs was called the Shi people. So Xi'an, you had the Shi people, who was the Olmecs, who came through there over 5,000 years ago, who actually built those particular mounds, being descendants from the Dogons, and the Dogons being the high priests or the astrologers or the cosmologists of ancient Egypt, or Tamaray.
Okay. I want you to tell the people how could they reach you, contact you if they're interested in,
Right. Go to our website, www.dralimlbey. We got crazy amounts of information on there. Everything that I'm talking about is on there. We able to, we damn near wrote books on the pages so that people can get their information. So go to www.dralimlbey.com. Check us out there. You can go to our WordPress page, Dr. Alim Bey. You can go to my Facebook page, Dr. Alim Bey, or either Dr. Alim Bey or Dr. Alim L-Bay or hyphen Bay. You can also go to our other website, which is www.cultural-freedom. As well as also you can call us at 910-364-9099. That's 910-364-9099. You can also go to our YouTube page, Alim and Kadera, or either to More Heritage, on YouTube, or either Asaro Alim El Bey. So we got 3 YouTube pages, and we got over 200 videos and talk shows and radio shows that we have done on those pages. So we got a host of information on every subject under the planet, from extraterrestrials, aliens, to Illuminati, to esoteric symbolism, metaphysics, health, herbs, healing, modalities, everything you can think of, we got it. So just check us out. And also we got in September, we got a retreat coming up, September, the 3rd weekend in September. That's Saturday and Sunday, where we're going to be teaching these healing sciences. So stay tuned for that. All right. So, and I'm hosting Ciroc and Soul Messiah, the event coming up in Columbia, South Carolina, 2:30 this Saturday, in the park in Columbia. We're going to be, going through some conscious musics, and I'm hosting. So we got that coming this Sunday. So check us out.
Yeah, that's what's up. I know that's going to be fire right there.
Oh yeah.
But thanks once again.
Because cats don't know I can flow, yo.
I can't wait. I got to see that. I ain't know either.
Yeah. Cats don't know I can flow. So that's something else. Everybody been talking about, Brother A. Rashid, and Duke and Tiz and the pills. And I'm like, yeah. And Black died. I said, word, I can, and I said, yeah, I can flow too. And they be like, what? Dr. Alim can flow? And so I just, I like, yo, check, right? Yo, unload rounds of ammo like a SWAT team, threatening heavy artillery to punish a terrorist vigilante with skills, methods, tactical strategies, expert marksman, a treacherous mercenary, maneuver straight, target adversaries, an assassin, bullet of a sniper, mafia gangster, hitman professional, the deadly venom of a viper, poisonous bite, diagnosis fatal, master weapons, possess a vast arsenal, vacate the premise, explosive, potent, lethal.
Wow,
so killing with cats. So no doubt about it.
That's what's up, bro. I didn't know you had it like that, bro. That's what's up, Alim. Oh, man. All right, brother. Well, I can't wait to see you in New York. When you come to New York, I look forward to doing an interview with you, brother. And I'll talk to you soon. Peace to all the family, y'all. Peace.
Peace.